Well, a very good evening and welcome to this edition of Breeding To Win. We've got a great show lined up for you. We've got a highlights package from the East Cape Derby brought to you by World Sports Betting, and also not to mention the Friday where it was the final leg of the Poly Series, also brought to you by World Sports Betting. They put a lot of money into sponsorship, and Rayno and his team certainly put out all the stops out at Fairview. The Breeding To Win team were there. Let's find out more.
But 1, 2, 3 is the one to catch. 250 out. He's still 3 lengths in front. Flight Captain Pacific Spirit. And they're outside Breakfast Club. Let's Play Ball. All trying to get into the race. It's still 1, 2, 3. He's been in front from the start. Breakfast Club is chasing and getting closer. 1, 2, 3. Breakfast Club close. 300 they go. Let's Play Ball, Border Control, either side of Dawnbreaker. Then comes Lord Windermere towards the outside. Breakfast Club was further back. It's Let's Play Ball in the lead. He's shot for home. Second place is Lord Windermere. Then comes Dawnbreaker. And in front is Let's Play Ball. Let's Play Ball will come good. Let's Play Ball's beaten Lord Windermere. Dawnbreaker third.
Set. Gates crash back, and their racing streak of silver was 2 lengths slow. Story of my life. 1,000 metres, and it's Dawnbreaker in the lead with a 2-length lead and got things pretty soft up front. Then Border Control, Lord Windermere, Sao Paulo in between them. Lord Windermere finishing strongly, streak of silver up the inside. Lord Windermere though pulls out more. Lord Windermere has beaten streak of silver. Brigadoon Ely is right there, and Sailing Lizard also still looking for some sort of position as Chaos is alongside him. Jay's Hawk, then comes Tom and Jerry, and in second place is Dropkick, then comes Just Chaos, but St. Vladimir, it's Brett Crawford again. St. Vladimir's won the East Cape Derby, sponsored by World Sports Betting.
Rayno, it's been a magnificent day and a race that I think has unfolded beautifully. We got to see the best of St. Vladimir here and a team that is just top class at the moment, and they've shone today.
I think so too. I think we always knew it was going to be a good race. I think everybody had this horse picked as one of the contenders. We expected him to perform, and he certainly did. So well done to the whole team. But I also think shout out to the local PE horses that ran beautiful second and thirds, like as you pointed out, and well done just to everybody. And as usual, thank you to the Pumlela team for allowing us to host this day. It's wonderful, and we can't wait to be back next year.
Great day out at Fairview, had by all and certainly some quality racing, and hats off to trainer Brett Crawford. He's now completed a round the country feature race success story, obviously starting off with the Drill Hall where he won. He then went up to Johannesburg and he won the computer form sprint, followed up with a small feature, the Somerset here in Kenilworth, and then went all the way to PE to land the World Sports Betting East Cape Derby. Fantastic achievement all round. Next up on the show, and it's great excitement as well, another son of Captain Al is retiring to stud. We catch up with Bram van Heesteen, Brett Crawford and John Costa.
It's lovely to have Bram van Heesteen on today's show, and he's got some really exciting news about Undercover Agent, who he owns with Greg Bortz. Bram, some really exciting news. You and Greg have decided to syndicate this horse for stud duties.
Yeah, I think it is not often that you have one that's good enough that can take on a stud career, and thanks God we eventually found one, and we thought it would be good that he go back to the place where Captain Al was born, and we've had a discussion with the Cloverfly people, and we came to agreement, and we're looking forward to a lovely stud career for him at Cloverfly.
Well, he's a grade winner, and one winner, and of course by Captain Al, so he's going to be well sought after. He's a special boy.
Yeah, no, he's won some nice races. We were fortunate that he won the $500,000 race here. So he won the Bailey Turk. I think that was a Group 3 or a Group 2. Then he won the Rising Sun, which was also Lali Hudson's first Group 1. He won the Drillhall the other night. I see Brett has just ended him in the Chogo Sun Sprint. Looking forward to that. We will defend our title this year in the Rising Sun. And maybe look forward to finishing off with the Champions Cup towards the end of July.
Yeah, it's lovely that you've got him to race until the end of the season. And then yourself and Greg, when he goes to Stad, will you be staying on as shareholders?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I can just already, I see myself with Greg at the auctions because I know he can lose his discipline, and I can already see him buying all the progeny of Undercover Agent, but we've both decided that we'll keep at least 5 shares ourselves. I don't think it's ideal to keep more because we obviously want to make sure that good mares go to him, but I'm sure with Klavervlei also committing and taking on quite a few shares that some good mares will get to him. And we've also had a lot of interest. I've had quite a few phone calls of breeders that's all keen and interested to go down this journey.
Well, exciting times ahead, and what a lovely place to be standing in at Klavervlei. And as we know, John Costa goes back for many years with Captain L.
Yes, absolutely. That's big shoes to step into. But I think with William Longsword and Undercover Agent, I think they hope that one of them can fulfill that duty.
He's certainly a horse that's given you a lot of fun times throughout the last couple of seasons.
Absolutely, you know, I mean, I must compliment Greg Boards, who picked him, and Brett Crawford. You know, it's a horse that we didn't pay too much for him, I think 425,000 Rand, and he's earned us over 5 million Rand in stake money. And I think the real exciting part is lying ahead.
Well, Bram, thank you for taking the time to chat to us. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season for Undercover Agent before he goes to Stud, and of course we'll be following him at Klavervlei.
So do we. Thank you very much.
Well, we've spoken to Undercover Agent's owner, Bram van Heesten, about the exciting news of him standing at Klavervlei, and now we've got trainer Brett Crawford with us, who of course has been training Undercover Agent throughout his career. Brett, what a smashing individual he is.
Yes, indeed, V. I mean, a more prominent son of Captain L. Beautiful, you know, he's a tall horse, stands over ground, has a presence about him. And just from day one when he came in the yard, you know, he just held himself in such high esteem. And I'll never forget the first time I ever galloped him. He just showed such an amazing ability to recover. And I still remember telling the late Chris Gerber at a party that I thought this horse would be something special, and that was before he had even run. So it's nice to see a dream come true, and him to fulfill the potential that he showed us as a young horse. You know, he's won a Group 3, a Group 2 and a Group 1, and we've still got 3 races in mind for him before the end of the season, so we're hoping we can capitalise on that and send him to Stud with another group race of some description under his belt.
Yeah, I must say, I've only seen him in the parade ring and going down to the start, but he always goes down like a lion, and he always looks $1 million. Lovely big strong horse, typical of Captain L.
Very much so. You know, for me, he's actually like a copybook of Captain America. You know, he's just the same size, the way he races, the way he presents himself, his mannerisms. He's a complete and utter gentleman. And he's just been a horse that's had the most amazing ability to recover. He's a genuine athlete. You know, everything inside of him works 110%, and that's what's made him the racehorse that he is.
And his feature journey really started for you when he won that CTS $1 million, and that was such an exciting day.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we ran him in the Selangor and in the Guineas, and we fancied him in both, but I just feel that it came a fraction too early for him. He's a big horse. He just needed to mature and fill into his frame. So although, you know, his results in those 2 races weren't quite what we expected, you know, he then came on from that and showed that in the CTS million that he won, and then obviously he went on to Durban. And you know, I think it's an interesting statistic. I'm not quite sure of the stats, but I'm sure someone like John Costa would be able to tell us the last 3-year-old to win the Rising Sun Challenge. You know, I think Variety Club could probably be the only one that I can remember. Other than that, it's not a race traditionally won by 3-year-olds. So, you know, he holds himself amongst the steam horses there, and you know, I really do think that he'll be an asset to the breeding ranks.
And it was a great win, winning the drill hall last week in Durban, and that just sets him up to finish off the season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it was his first run back. He beat a quality field. He beat the Met winner. He loves gravel. We have decided to enter him in the Sorgo Sun Sprint, just because he's such a big horse and he just takes so much work that we feel that a race in between that and the Rising Sun would be the right thing to do. And if you look at his form over 1200, you know, he won't be without a chance.
And temperament-wise, how is he to deal with at home, and how do you see him progressing as a stallion?
No, I think he'll be a dream to work with. I think, you know, at home he's shown that his mannerisms are of the highest order. He's a thorough gentleman, although for his size, you know, he's a real man, and I think he'll be an asset to Clavervlei Stud Barn.
And it's lovely for you trainers to be able to follow them on going on as stallions. I mean, I know you're close to Clavervlei and the Costa family, so it's a lovely way forward.
Yeah, you know, Captain Al, he's been basically a legend in South African racing, so you know, there's a few of his sons gone to stud now, and I have no doubt that one of them will come through for him, and I'm just hoping that it's Undercover Agent.
Well, best of luck, Brett, for the rest of the season with Undercover Agent. I hope we see him do big things before he goes off to stud.
Thank you.
Undercover Agent, the guy's now getting anxious on it as Cirillo comes forward now. Cirillo, Lady in Black, Rainbow Bridge, but it's Cirillo and Undercover Agent. It's an absolute war of nerves. Undercover Agent fights back. Rainbow Bridge going down the inside. Undercover Agent just finds the line.
We're here at Vasco da Gama in Cape Town this morning, and we've got some really exciting news to share with you. Undercover Agent will be joining the stallion ranks at Clavervlei Stud, and it's lovely to have John Costa on the show to share this exciting news with us. John, you must be thrilled that Undercover Agent will be joining you on the farm.
I am, Fee. You know, he was one of the truly good horses of his generation. And to have another son of Captain Al join the stallion ranks in South Africa is extremely exciting for the country, I would think.
Absolutely. And of course he's owned by Greg Bortz and Bram van Heesten, and they are just such great racing enthusiasts, and it's lovely to have them on board as well.
Absolutely, Fee. You know, when Bram and Greg asked us to come and explain to them how stallion syndication worked, we were very excited. You know, when big owners get involved, like they have, it's always very exciting for the industry. And, you know, you think of Chris with Pomodoro and how he supported Pomodoro and the breeders that use Pomodoro in the sales ring. And I know Bram and Greg are very much of the same ilk. You know, the big owners in South Africa are almost a dying breed. And Greg and Bram have both indicated to us that they will be supporting the yearlings and the breeders of Undercover Agents foals going forward in the future.
And it's lovely that they've chosen Clavervlei, being the farm that his father stood at as well.
That's very special to us, Fee. You know, Captain Al obviously born and bred at Clavervlei and came back to stud there. So to have another one of his sons in the stallion barn with us is extremely special.
Looking at Undercover Agent, he is a fantastic looking horse, isn't he? Conformation wise and looks. I mean, he's got a lot of his father about him, but he looks perfect.
Yeah, he is, and an extremely sound horse. You know, and Brett would have told you as well that he's a big, imposing horse. And one of the advantages that we had with Captain Al is that he produced, you know, very, very well balanced horses, very good looking horses for sales ring. And I'm expecting Undercover Agent to do exactly the same thing.
And from Captain Al's side, you've got some great stats for us as well through Northern Dancer. It's a great line, isn't it? Well,
it is, Fee. You know, Northern Dancer over the past 10 years, Group 1 races over turf in North America and Europe has won 67% of the races. Now that's slowly started indicating that there's going to be a polarization towards Northern Dancer. The Roberta line still exists through More Than Ready overseas and obviously through Captain Al here. And I think it's imperative of us to keep this line going as an outcross to Northern Dancer and other sire lines. We've got sons of Captain Al at stud, that, like Captain of All, who was probably one of the fastest horses of his time in the world. And when a sire line works in a country, one must expand upon it. And you know, you think in Australia, you think of Daniel, Redut's Choice, Schnitzel. If you think of in Europe, Galileo, Sadler's Wells and Galileo, and the breeders have really pushed hard on those stallions because they just handle the conditions of that country so well. And Captain Al has shown us in South Africa that he handles all the conditions here. His colts run, his fillies run, they sprint, they stay, classic horses, he's the whole package. So having more Captain Al here, I think, is really good for the industry.
You can't go wrong with Captain L. And on the dam side, Undercover Agents by London News mare.
Yeah, she's London News. His stats as a broodmare sire looking good. 3.8% stakes winners to runners. And, his mother was a good filly. She was a listed race winner. And it's the family of Evening Attire. So, a solid female line, great sire line. And as a racehorse, 11 out of his 16 starts he ran first or second, which is nearly 70%. I mean, that is so consistent and so good. And by the way, Brett speaks, he's definitely got another Group 1 win in him this year. So all in all, it's a package that ticks all the boxes. And as I said earlier, I think he's going to produce a really, really smart looking foal.
It's going to be really exciting to have him on the farm, and it's lovely that Greg and Bram are going to stay involved, but obviously there's going to be lots of other shareholders, and it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game, fee syndication. But when you've got two extremely strong partners like Bram and Greg, who are going to send their top fillies to the stallion, so you can count them at least 10 to 15 really, really smart fillies from the two of them. And then they'll be back in the ring again to have a look at all the other breeders' yearlings, and they will be asking their trainers to have a close look at them. And there will be a lot of action when they do come into things. So from a breeder's point of view, to purchase a share in Undercover Agent, you really are covered from the point of view that he's a very exciting horse to go to stud. His sire line has proven itself in South Africa, and here we've got two partners that are going to be looking at his yearlings exactly in the same manner as what Chris van Niekerk did with Pomodoro. So all in all, I think a really good opportunity for South African breeders. Yeah,
exciting times ahead. So he finishes the 2019 season in Durban, and then he heads to you on the farm.
Yep, he heads to us on the farm, and we'll have a stallion day and an introduction. And Bram and Greg will hopefully both be able to be there and chat to all the breeders involved. And yeah, let's put together a nice syndicate, and we want to do it in a fun way like we did with Captain L. And hopefully it's a win-win situation for all who get involved.
And John, as far as shares go and getting involved in the syndicate, how does one go about that, and what are the sort of costs involved?
Okay, so you'll be a 45 share horse, 85,000 Rand a share, of which 10,000 Rand will go towards marketing. And Bram's got some wonderful ideas from a clothing point of view, a clothing range. That will include 2 services per year for the first 4 years. So in actual fact, if you take him, he'll be standing for a service fee of 10,000 Rand, 2,000 Rand nomination, 8,000 Rand live foal fee. So if you take the 8 services over a 4-year period, you've basically paid for your share. So I think it's a great deal. We're very aware that at the moment the industry's, there's tough times in the industry, and I think we've placed him absolutely correctly. Absolutely. Well, best of luck with him. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Clava Play on the Stallion Day as well. Thank you, John. Thanks, Fee. Well, really exciting news. I'm so looking forward to seeing Undercover Agent settling in at Clava Play and seeing him on the Stallion Day. Of course, he's got his Durban season to finish off first, but he looks in good stead for that, having run a really good race in the Drill Hall, winning last week.
Coming up on the 27th of May is the Golf Day, brought to you by the Cape Breeders. It's the inaugural Golf Day as well. We're looking forward to a fantastic event held out at Pearl Valley, and great to have Morris V as our primary sponsor for it. There are a couple of 4 balls left if you wanted to get involved, and we're looking forward to a fun-filled day. But later on in the evening, we've also got the Cape Breeders Stallion Auction. James Armitage, who is currently the chairman of the Cape Breeders Club, tells us more.
The Cape Breeders Club Golf Day will be held on Monday the 27th of May at Pearl Valley Golf Club, and with me today is James Armitage to give us an update. James, lovely to have you on the show again.
Thanks very much for your time.
There's been a lot of interest in the Cape Breeders Golf Club Day, hasn't there?
Yeah, I've been amazed. So we obviously put the initial invite out, and people have been amazing with the generosity in the sponsorship. And also the 4 balls are filling up very quickly. We don't have many spaces left. I mean, we had 2 new 4 balls come in today, so we've still got a bit of time for more people if they're interested. So it is filling up, which is fantastic.
Well, the event has been well advertised, and I see for your entry fee for a 4 ball, you get quite a lot of things are included.
Yes, so it's 4,000 Rand for a 4 ball, that's including VAT. You get your green fee, you get your golf cart, your halfway house on-course drinks. You'll also get a cap and a shirt in your goodie bag. And then Morris V are going to put in a 500 Rand betting voucher, which they'll match. So you've obviously got to put that into your account, and then they'll match that. The green fee is very cheap when you consider what you're going to get for the goodie bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Great value for money. And you've got lots of sponsors that have come on board as well, which is what you need.
Geez, Fee, that's been amazing. People have been very generous. So we've got Morris V that are our main sponsors. They like the umbrella sponsor. We've got Cornerstone and Vetscape Hospitals. They're going to be sponsoring a hole, as well as Drockenstein Stud, the Equine Group, Freeman Stallions, Hemelanada and their new stallion Horizon, Cloverflay Stud, Kuda, Main Chance, Moritz Fontaine with their new stallion Danon Platina, Noble Tune, he's moved down from from Natal, so he's with Jan Mantel at Millstream. Ridgemont Highlands are sponsoring a hole.
What they're doing as well, which is very kind and generous of them, is they are donating a service to one of their stallions for closest to the pin, and then there will also be a service to their other stallions for longest drives on 2 separate other holes. So it's a very kind and generous gesture from Ridgemont Highlands.
TBA are sponsoring Varsfontein, Vulgabush Drift and Fireaway. So we've got 13 hole sponsors. We're going to have the Goose Wine sponsoring. They're going to do a cheese and wine tasting for the non-golfers, which will be fantastic. So people can come at 6:30, and the cheese and wine tasting will be there for the non-golfers. And then the Goose Wines are going to have wines on the table, as well as their craft beer, Diesel and Dust. So that'll be available, and that'll also be put on the tables for the dinner. And then they've generously also donated a 3-litre Magnum, which will be up for auction afterwards, and that is signed by Retief Goosen himself. So that's fantastic.
You've done a fabulous job getting all these sponsors together, and I think it's a really good idea that you've got the cheese and wine tasting thing going on as well, because obviously you want to get people there for the day, because later on in the evening you've got the dinner and you've got the auction.
Yes, so there might have been a little bit of confusion. Some people thought maybe it's only the golfing, but as you say, it's the golf day leading into the dinner. And it's been fantastic because we've managed to get Pearl Valley secured, and I firmly believe that with the stallions we need to have a venue that matches the prestige of the stallion auction. We've got the top stallions lined up, which is fantastic, and some of those stallions are not available, and the only way you can get into them is through the auction. So we're going to have 16 stallions on the open auction, and we've got 34 on silent bids. So the stallion owners and stud managers and agents have been incredibly generous again, and that is really the lifeline of the Cape Breeders Club. So without them we wouldn't exist. So to all of our stallion owners, thank you very much for your generosity. And as I said, the non-golfers will be able to come and join us in the evening.
It sounds like a really fun event, and I think it comes at a good time because we've had so much busyness of sales. It's obviously the racing season in Durban. It's just great to kick back and have a bit of a day off and play golf and have some fun.
Yeah, it will be fantastic. And those people that need accommodation, Pearl Valley have given us a very good rate. And if anyone hasn't booked to play or would like to sponsor a hole and they haven't sponsored, they can get hold of Wendy, who's the secretary of the Cape Breeders' Club, or they can give me a call and I'll line them up in the right direction.
And stallions-wise for the auction, have you got any names for us?
So we don't have the big five. Obviously, sadly, as we mentioned previously, that we no longer have Dynasty and Captain Al. And one can understand Silvana and VAR and Trippy are getting on, so they've got to look after them. But we've got every other stallion. So we've got all the upcoming stallions. We've got all the top stallions that are making a mark. They're all going to be on the auction.
Well, James, you've done a fantastic job putting this all together. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun day. I'm not a golfer myself, but I think I'll make it for the tasting and hopefully the dinner in the evening. Well done. You've done a fabulous job. And thanks for taking the time to give us an update.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Thanks, Fee.
We're really looking forward to the Cape Breeders Golf Day, as I said, on Monday the 27th of May at Pearl Valley Golf Club.
I'm going to end tonight's show with a look at a Freeman stallion. Obviously, a great portfolio of stallions does John Freeman, and he certainly looks to have another exciting prospect here. Let's catch up with tonight's edition. That's a wrap from tonight's show. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. Lots of excitement had out in Port Elizabeth. We look forward to the future of Undercover Agents as he starts the new chapter of his life. And obviously, we're looking forward to the golf day held out at Pearl Valley on the 27th of May. Join us next week for more on Breeding to Win.